Hello everyone, today I'm here to do a tag video. Today I'm doing the on my shelf tag. I've done this tag a couple times in the past. It is definitely a tag that you can repeat countless times because each time you're going to get different answers. What this tag is you just go on Twitter or someplace like that. I went on Twitter and asked people to send you 2 different sets of numbers, and you go to that number corresponding on your shelves and you pick the book from that number. So I asked a bunch of you guys to send me 2 random numbers on Twitter, and you did, so thank you so much to everyone who sent me numbers. I'll leave the tag's original video down below for you to check out because I highly recommend you do. I think this is a great idea for a tag because it's just so interesting, because a lot of the times we talk about the same books on our channels. Tag really broadens that horizon of just talking about books that you necessarily wouldn't always talk about. So without further ado, let's begin. The first set of numbers I have are 7 and 17, and that correlates with the book Wolf by Ryan Grandin. I love this book. I've talked about this book countless times on my channel. It is the first book in this duology, and it's a historical YA novel, and normally I wouldn't be a fan of historical YA because I just don't like historical books, but this one is so worth it. This is if the Axis powers would have won, if Germany would have taken control, if Hitler won everything, and it's all about this girl named Yael who competes in this motorcycle race across the continent, and whoever wins gets to meet Hitler, and Yael's plan is to infiltrate this race and go along this motorcycle race and win it. At the end, she wants to kill Hitler. It is so good. I highly recommend you check it out. It is definitely does not read like a historical fiction at all, in my opinion, because it has such an adventure aspect with the motorcycle race in it, so I definitely recommend it. Love this book. My next set of numbers are 8. 8, and that book is The One by Kiera Cass. This is the 3rd book in the Selection Trilogy. I have, yes, again, talked about this a lot on my channel. I'm known to not like this trilogy. A lot of people say it's a guilty pleasure trilogy. I can highly see that, but I think this is my least favorite out of all of them. I just really don't like it. It's the main character. The main character really makes me not like this series at all. If you don't know about the series, all you need to know, it's like The Bachelor set in a dystopian world. That's all you need to know about it. If you want to read that, great. If you don't, great. Either way, the main character is super annoying. The next set of numbers I have are 615, and that book with those numbers is Three Darks Crowned by Kendara Blake. This is the first book in her duology or trilogy. I'm not sure. I love this book. This is a underrated book, I feel like. Not a lot of people have read it, and I definitely think they should. It is so interesting. It's about these 3 sisters that are separated at birth, and, you know, because each generation a queen gives birth to triplets, and those triplets are separated at birth to go to different lands, and they reunite together again when they're 16, only they have to kill each other, and whoever is left standing will become the queen. And these sisters all have different powers. One is elemental. She can really control, like, the air and wind and things like that. Another one is a poisoner, which means that she can ingest any poison and no harm will come with it. And then the other one is a naturalist, which means she's really familiar with like plants and animals and things like that. So these three sisters, it's all about a battle to the death, really. I will say this is a slow burning book. The first half is very, very slow, but the second half is amazing, and I cannot wait for the second book. The next set of numbers I have are 8 and 24, and that book is Miss Mayhem by Rachel Hawkins. This is the oh crap, were you the second book? Yeah, I think this is the second book in the Rebel trilogy. Another trilogy I'm not a huge fan of. I'm surprised this is still on my shelf, honestly. I think I just keep them on there for the covers and just to tell you guys that I don't like them. Is that bad? Like, oh gosh, I think I'm gonna have to say goodbye to this trilogy. I'm not a fan of it. I've said time and time again that I think the first book was amazing and that it should have been left at a standalone, and I still stand by that, so I don't know if I'd recommend you the whole trilogy. Just maybe read the first book. Just imagine your own ending. The next set of numbers I have are 229, and that book is Strange the Dream by Laini Taylor. This comes from my TBR shelf, and this cover is so beautiful. I have yet to read this book. I want to read it. I'm nervous to read it. It's going to happen. I've heard so many good things about Laini Taylor's books, especially this book, but I'm nervous because I don't think a lot of people say her writing isn't for everyone, so I'm hoping just to love it. I really am, but we shall see. But I plan to read it. Even if we don't like it, I'm going to keep this book because the cover alone is so freaking stunning. I don't know much about it other than it's about like this lost city called Weep, and this boy has been studying this city of Weep his whole life, and then he eventually goes out to find it, and it just goes from there. So that's all I know about it. I don't know, but I really want to read it. I can't wait to read it. And the next set of numbers I have are 413, and that book is The Rainbow Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, one of my favorite books of all time. I love this book. It's such a unique series. I say that about it every single time that it is. This is pretty much a paranormal story about a group of boys that are trying to find these ley lines, trying to wake this king that has been sleeping for so long, and also ties in with this character named Blue, whose family is a family of psychics, and it's just so complicated to explain, but it is so worth it. Like, read this alone for her writing. Maggie Stiefvater is one of my favorite authors because she writes so beautifully. Like, I would say flowery almost. Like, if I could have anyone write my life story, it would be Maggie Stiefvater in a heartbeat. And the next set of numbers I have are 1010, and that book is The Book of Broken Hearts by Sarah Oppler, a definitely underrated book. I love this book. Not a lot of people have read it. I have read, I want to say, almost all of Sarah Oppler books. This one might be my favorite. I'm not sure. This has been a very long time since I've read this. I know it's about a girl named Jude who has her whole life been told never to fall in love with any of the Vargas boys. Like, they think that they bring curses upon their family, and of course, it so happens that she falls in love with a Vargas boy, of course. So it's all about that. I remember it being very, very cute, very adorable, and I would highly recommend it. I really enjoyed it. The next set of numbers I have are 55, and that book is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. The third and final book from Farrah's perspective, and then of course Thorns and Roses series. I'm not going to talk a lot about it because you know I love the series. This is not my favorite of the series. That will always be Mist and Fury, hands down. And the last book on this On My Shelf tag are the numbers 9 and 21, and that book is Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. Oh, this book broke me. It's a very, very sad book. It's all about a girl that goes to her family's lake house for the summer, and her dad is not doing so well, and it's all about that. And it is a very, very sad book. Morgan Matson writes a lot of like fluffy, happy books. This is her one that is gonna gut you. Like, it's a sad one. Like, it made me cry, but it was so beautiful. I don't know. This is my favorite. I love all of Morgan Matson books, all for different reasons, but this one is high up on the sad factor, that is for sure. And that was the On My Shelf tag. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and getting a glimpse into my shelf. Speaking of which, I filmed my bookshelf tour a few weeks ago, so you can see that right here. I'll link it down below as well for you if you really want an in-depth look at my shelves, because I always love watching bookshelf tours. Like, I can watch those all day. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.